We just wrapped up our 2025 garlic harvest. It was a lovely crop this year. Some really beautiful, unique garlic in our midst at this point. And when it was all said and done, we weighed it out and we're roughly at around 1,000 pounds of garlic. It's one of our largest crops yet. I'd love to share what the harvest process looks like. It begins with the foreman, the foreperson, Zelda, making decisions about where the garlic ought to go. She's going to go give some instructions. Misha came to visit with us. This is Sasha's sister, and she helped with some of the harvest and the childcare and was a real wonderful person to be with. And Zelda here is collecting some of the first crop and getting it stored. She's got her system. It works kinda. For our first rounds of garlic, we used a little tray on the back of the car to harvest small amounts so we can get our workflow set up. And what we do is we cut the heads off of the stalks because we are curing an immense amount of garlic in a very small space, and that'll make sense as we describe more. When we were working out in the field, we brought some transplants. Here we've got some tulsi in the back of the car ready to go out. And so as we were harvesting the garlic, we tried to either transplant in or seed plants. We'll talk about that in greater detail in another video. Here Sasha's walking some beautiful elephant garlic out of the field, and we're settling in some nice transplants of tulsi and perennial kale to follow in our elephant garlic bed. In this particular case, lots of different diversity as we went. Here Sasha's carrying a bunch of garlic and a little kiddo. Quite a common picture. It's amazing she's able to do that. She digs with Zelda in her arms sometimes. It's pretty wonderful. Loading up that tray and getting ready to do some serious processing on our first rounds of our elephant garlic. Really successful start to the season. They also took a little bit of time to bring some mulch by, and the tulsis and perennial kale that were planted got a nice dose of mulch. Zelda's learning the tricks. She's a little loose with it, but it works fine enough. And Sasha's going in to get some nice detail work. It was hot out, so it was really nice to protect the transplants going in. So important to protect that soil. We also used a pretty sturdy garden fork to do some deep decompaction on our largest elephant garlic heads. This tool allows us to get in about 12 inches deep into the soil and really soften things. Here you can see I'm able to pull a nice head or two at a time. It's slow, but it's a way to renovate and decompact the soil in the garden bed, following the garlic as a way to respect the soil and just keep getting these production beds better and better as time allows. Elephant garlic in some of the beds were absolutely ridiculous this year. Really, really pleased with what they were up to. So they're out of the field and ready to come back home for processing. And first things first, it's fun to look at some of the largest ones that came out of there. And you can see we're starting to organize here elephant garlic orbs and large seed heads and some of the nuts. We started using our trailer once we had a sense of the rhythm of all this, and that lets us bring about a few thousand heads at a time. And you can see where Sasha and Juan here are pulling garlic and sorting by seed or eating garlic, and they're snipping the heads into bulb crates temporarily so we can just get the material processed. And we'll compost all those stalks in the chicken yard nice and hot, snipping them off right into the crate, organizing as we go, and then starting to load them onto our wooden crates. I'll talk about this in another video. I'll link here if you're interested in seeing it, about how we build those. And here's an opportunity to set these wooden crates vertical in the garage with a little bit of space, and once they're very tall, we'll put a fan on them to force air through them. We also use bread trays at times in order to store some garlic that doesn't need active ventilation to dry down. We go about 8 feet tall with these stacks, so it will hold almost 1,000, 2,000 heads of garlic per 2 foot by 2 foot spot. The Eco-Socialists, a really cool crew in Ithaca that volunteer to support farmers and do food access and food justice work, they came and hung out with us and knocked out a ton of harvesting one day. In fact, we got most of our hardneck done in just a few hours with this cool crew. I'm going to link in the description to their program if you're interested, if you're in the Ithaca area and want to connect with them. We asked them to pull hardneck and lay them in windrows as they went, and a lot of garlic here, but with a good group of people, it goes pretty quickly. And you can see they've been laying them out so that while we're harvesting, the bulbs are getting a little bit of sun. That's going to help get the surfaces nice and dry so we can get the soil off in a clean way before we leave the field with them. It's a beautiful pattern too. Many thousands of heads with just a few folks in a couple of hours. Loaded onto the trailer. Here's some soft neck on the left and hard neck on the right. And you can see that pattern of harvest working in a really nice way. Some sun into the garlic initially, and then we're ready to pull them from the field and get them broken down. Back at home in the shade, we try to time things so we're in the shade working. We're processing the rest of this garlic for eating and for seed, and here we're snipping them directly onto our drying trays and trying to move through the process. I think all in all we had around 60 of these trays, so it takes quite a while to move through this, but we get some very high quality garlic out of it. It's just a bit front loaded on the harvest and initial processing. And here you can see about a quarter of the crop ready for stacking. That's most of our hardneck for seed. And then we let them be in the sun a little longer, turn them, shake them just to get some of the dust off, and then they move into the garage where they can be stacked and have active ventilation with fans pushing air through. It's pretty insane how much stuff we do in this little garage. It's a crazy space, but it's where we ship out of, it's where we process 1,000 pounds of garlic, and if we're effective, it works pretty well. A few days later, about a week or two later, Juan and I are now ready to go through all the garlic and sort and weigh so we know what we have for seed for sale. We'll be making an announcement soon with what sort of numbers of hardneck, softneck, and elephant garlic we will have available as really very reasonably priced seed for folks. And this is us doing the last steps needed to set up some really nice boxes for final curing and get our numbers. We use a little electric blower to clean things off, including these elephant garlic nuts. These will be available as well this summer. And it's a chance to go through and just do one final really thorough inspection, clean off some skins, make sure everything's in good shape. And then there it is, crates and crates, wooden crates of garlic for days. We'll put some fans on top of these to force air through soon enough, and they should be good and cured over the next few days. We had some bread crates that went over 8 feet tall in here, some that were 5 or 6 feet tall. We got just about 1,000 pounds of lovely, beautiful garlic in our garage, drying down and getting ready to be offered to the public so folks can grow their own wonderful garlic where they live. Yeah, check out in the description for more notes, and if you wanted to connect with those eco-socialist cool folks in Ithaca, please do so. Tell them we said hello, and we hope to offer you some beautiful garlic soon enough. Thanks for watching our little journey in getting it out of the ground and ready to dry.